The humanistic perspective on psychology argues that our thoughts and behaviors are influenced by potential. The idea that we are each trying to grow and better ourselves in order to reach the ultimate goal of self actualization. What you're seeing here on this slide is Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And this is a topic that we cover much more in detail in the chapter on motivation and emotion, but it is important that we touch upon it now in the personality chapter. So, humanistic perspective argues that personality is all about growing and achieving basic goals in order to reach the person we were supposed to be, the person we are meant to be. This is a very philosophical, abstract approach to personality, but nevertheless, it does have something unique to add. So if we take a basic look at this pyramid here, the concept is that there is a hierarchy or an order of importance for our thoughts and behaviors. So at the very bottom, we have the physiological needs. These are basic things like breathing and eating food. So, of course, we need to eat food in order to live. If you don't have food, pretty much nothing else matters. We can't live a very long life without food. But most people have that basic need taken care of, especially in Western cultures like the United States. And so once that need is readily satisfied, we then move up a level and we go to the safety needs. So we're talking about security of your body, making sure your family is safe, making sure you have a roof over your head to protect you from, Mother Nature and things like that. Once that is satisfied, we then focus on the needs of love and social connections, so intimacy and really deep connections and satisfying relationships with other people. Once that is satisfied, we then work on the esteem needs. And the esteem needs are based on things like accomplishment and achieving the respect of other people. Finally, once these lower order needs are met, we can then work on the concept of self-actualization, which is really becoming somebody who is a moral being, a creative individual, spontaneous, never taking things for granted, living in the moment, appreciating the little things, the small things in life. So there's a lot more detail on this to come in later chapters. Like I said, in the motivation and emotion chapter, we're going to dissect each one of these carefully. But for now, what's important to consider is that this plays a role in explaining why we have the types of personalities that we have. So recall, the definition of personality is the stable ways in which we think and behave over time. So you could argue that somebody has the type of personality that they have because they're trying to achieve certain goals or certain needs. For example, love and belonging. Somebody might have a lack of meaningful relationships in their life, and therefore that could affect their personality in specific ways. All right, so that is the humanistic perspective, at least a very brief overview. Definitely check out the textbook for more information. But it argues that there's this philosophical drive within us. So it's a very unique perspective. Compare this to the biological perspective. The biological perspective is all about the specific physiology, the actual hardware within our body that brings about thoughts and behaviors. This takes a completely different approach and argues that, there's something greater here. There's this idea of self-actualization, this concept that all of us are somehow aware of a better self, living your true self, trying to become the person you were meant to be. And that ultimately drives everything that we do in terms of our thoughts and behaviors.